Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Live. We're really excited that you're able to be with us today. And, in thinking we've had like a big week last week, there was Mother's Day and several other events, but this week is National, is it Women's Health Week? So we have little specials on our Facebook channel, so definitely you can check those out. And we're just super excited to continue with the walking on Wednesdays. And Lauren had an amazing record-setting amount of people walk with her this morning. We're so excited. And then also she has her Women with Weights to get you more comfortable in the weight room, because certainly as females, we tend as we age to not lift as much, and we need to be strong. And so lifting is very important for all of us, but sometimes it can be intimidating. So there is no intimidation with us. We're just here to help you have a great day. So know that we're here for you and can help. And let's see, I think those were the big things. Oh, and we also did our blood drive last week, and that went really well as well. And our awesome interns, it was our last week, and again, a shout out for them because they were amazing, and they helped us with a lot of things and taught us a lot of stuff. And we are thankful to have been part of their lives, and thankful for all the things that they helped us accomplish in the last semester. So we look forward to our future. And so today, what we're going to talk, the supplement that we're talking about today is homocysteine. And so basically what this is I just private labeled, if you will, Orthomolecular's methyl CPG. And what the heck is homocysteine? So homocysteine is this little chemical that gets released from our blood vessels. And if people have had a history of a heart attack, if you lower the homocysteine level, it can lower the risk for recurrent heart attacks. Well, we started thinking, well, then why would I not lower it before? And a lot of the literature, when you look back, a lot of folks with elevated homocysteine also have MFTR mutation. So taking a methylated B complex can be very helpful for those individuals, because long term you can also get folate and B12 deficient. So to make a long story short, we would check everyone's homocysteine levels. And if it's elevated, I have them take this. And even though the trade name is methyl CPG, I just made it homocysteine, because when you look at the bottle and you see methyl CPG, why am I taking this? But if you look and you see homocysteine, and you look on your paper, it says homocysteine, then you know, I want to make this lower, and this is going to be awesome, and it's measurable. So I really love with supplements too, being able to measure the effectiveness of the supplement that we're taking, so people know why and what they're taking it for, and oftentimes they feel better while they take them too. So anyway, I just want to send a shout out to homocysteine today, because it rocks. So there we go. Now, the subject of the day today that I was going to talk about, because a lot of the time I come up with subjects based off talking to patients. And so yesterday I was talking to a couple of male patients of mine, and we were talking about fear. So I thought, I think I'd like to talk about that tomorrow. So basically I'm also going to talk about fear of fear. So what the heck is fear anyway? So fear is just, maybe I would say, being nervous of the unknown, or being scared of failure, or being scared to disappoint someone. It's any emotion that might raise your cortisol level. But when we have to look back, we're like, well, why does my body even feel fear? And so if we go back to that original thought that I tell everyone about, that I split us apart, and kind of walk through this with me. If you split yourself apart and you make yourself your little spiritual kindergartner that I tell everyone we are in our heart, like we all are little kindergartners that want to be nice to each other, but we've just had a lot of life experience that could have made life difficult. But in our hearts, I believe it's all to be good. And then we're all in this robot body, and this robot body's job is to protect you from the day you're created until the day you die. But this robot body is very primal, so it evolved in a cave. And it thinks a good day is eat some good food, move, sweat, have a healthy gastrointestinal system, sleep, balance your energy, and belong somewhere. It's got the rest for us. And so your body, though, can put you on autopilot if it perceives you're in danger, because somewhere along the evolutionary pathway of our beautiful, amazing body, it figured out that our free will may get us into trouble sometimes. And that free will, we might try to negotiate with something eating from us. That would be a bad idea, because your body thinks, they might die. So I'm going to help them just run really fast and not think twice. And if there's a chronic stress, maybe if we just go to sleep, we'll wake up and it'll be over. So your body can always override you in those two states, because it doesn't want you to remember and concentrate or outthink it with your free will. So memory, concentration deficit, feeling alone, ruminating, it happens a lot of times on these extremes. And we're not alone for feeling that way. We're not having pathology for feeling that way. We're actually normal for feeling that way. Now, your body has not evolved to live in this crazy world that we live in. It doesn't. And so while our brain thinks, come on, body, you should catch up, you can't speed up your genome. It is what it is. So who you are spiritually has to live your life out through this body that's primal and can speed you up or slow you down, but it can always override you, so you have to appreciate that. But while your body can override you, you may make you feel fearful, but how your body doesn't want to hurt you. And in fact, your body is your best friend. Its job is to keep you alive from the day you're created until the day you die. When you're youthful, well, I'm youthful, my body's giving me the get out of jail free card where it lets me eat Taco Bell and it lets me stay up all night long, and I might choose to drink some alcoholic beverages to extremes, and I wake up the next day still feeling okay. Why? Because my body gave me youth. My body gave me the get out of jail free card, so somewhere along life's path I start to figure it out more. But as my body ages, it becomes more important that I'm wiser. I'm wiser about driving the meat suit because my body gave to me beforehand. And so when I think about my body that way, I realize I have absolutely nothing to fear, but I have everything to be thankful for. And as long as I help my body with energy, as long as I listen to my body's path, I have nothing but an amazing journey of life in front of me, no matter how painful it might seem at times. So fear is when your body is associating that your path of life might be hard or it's scary. And that is to be human. That's not to be abnormal, that's to be normal. So the other thing you have to know about your body is you've got all these amazing senses, right? We have sight, smell, taste, hearing, touch, and your body always is taking in all these stimuli, and it's taking in stimuli because it wants to remember how to keep you okay. So you'll notice in some stressful events, if I'll ask you about some, there'll be something that they remember about it, and that's where their brain associated the event to help keep them safe. And I can't tell you how many times over the last couple of days, I've had a couple of patients say, oh my gosh, that made me think of this, and they totally laughed, and then they brightened up. Because what they did is they associated this event with something joyful, and it brought them energy, and you could see that in their eyes. So just as your body is benchmarking, stay safe and don't do this, it's also benchmarking, go here, it makes you feel good. Now you, as a driver of your body, don't get to choose where your body associates things. So I'm going to use an example. If somebody comes up and kicks me in the shin in kindergarten 50 times over, I start to fear someone coming up and walking up to me because they're going to kick me in the shin. Now my body will start to figure out, I'm going to associate something with this. So when you see it, turn around and run the other way so no one kicks you in the shin. So maybe if the little kid that came up that was trying to kick me in the shin wears blue shoes, every time I see blue shoes, my heart starts beating a little fast. My body does that because it's like, oh, those blue shoes. You remember those blue shoes? Well, when I'm a kindergartner, I just want everyone to have a good day. I want to be nice. And so I'm like, I don't understand why somebody is going to want to kick me. But in my 46-year-old body, if I get palpitations or my heart beats fast from the sight of blue shoes, I can sit here and think, you know what? I see blue shoes and my heart pounds because I remember that little kid in kindergarten. And somehow my body looked at his blue shoes every time he kicked me, and it started reminding me, run the other way when the blue shoes come. But as an adult, I get to look at blue shoes and say, it's just blue shoes. I don't have anything to fear. It's going to be okay. And then when I look at blue shoes, my heart doesn't beat anymore because I taught it, don't worry about that. It just happened when you were little. And now it's not going to happen anymore, and it feels better. So fear, or a rise of cortisol, is designed by my body to keep me safe. It's never designed to hurt me. Now I also see a lot of patients who maybe they've seen things that we're not supposed to see as human beings. Like, I think it's also in our genome that we want to love our mom and dad forever, and we're not supposed to see people really hurt, and we're not supposed to see certain things, because your body sees that without you even knowing it. It makes your heart beat and it makes you scared. Well, if you've seen those things and your body's associated and remembers it, sometimes that can teach your body to fire off your cortisol at times that aren't appropriate. And it feels really horrible to be stuck in a body that feels that way because you just want to jump out because it feels like you can't breathe. I understand that. But that is just because your meat suit is trying to protect you from a thought or a memory that's happened along the way. Now, while that can make you feel helpless, that can make you fear your fear. And really your body is designed that it doesn't want you to overthink its fear because it's designed to keep you safe. But in today's world, so much of our fear comes from our society. So much of our fear comes that we're not living in the cave. So when our body tries to protect us, it will keep going till we fix the problem. But it feels just as bad to be in a body that's running from something that you feel is going to eat you. And I hope this makes sense. So what I love to help people walk through is understanding why their body is doing what it's doing and help them find energy to sit in that moment and disassociate that thought. Because if you disassociate that thought, you let go of your fear and you also learn confidence in the moment, and then your body's okay with it because you're not getting chased by a rhinoceros. So this patient that I was talking to yesterday has been in the armed forces and has seen a lot of things that maybe we shouldn't have to see. And also they were always on guard like every hour of every day. And you know what that does? It makes you go like this. I kind of know what that feeling is like. It's like being on call all the time at the hospital and not knowing if someone's going to call you for a life or death emergency. So even though you might be sitting at a basketball game watching your kids play basketball, which should be super peaceful, what happens is you can't sit there peaceful because you're like, I'm going to get called at any moment and maybe someone's going to be bleeding to death. And that builds on time and makes you super anxious. And so it doesn't happen at first, but it builds. So with this, I was so thankful for this particular patient that he was able to sit now and talk to himself through those moments and objectively say and embrace it. Like, oh, my heart is beating fast, but it's just because it's remembering that moment. And I'm not going to die. And it's going to be okay. Because when you fear your fear, you can't talk yourself through those moments to start learning and understanding your body's love. Not that it wants to hurt you, but it actually wants to help you. And so that's really just what I wanted to talk about today, just about fear of your fear and your body's stress response and how so frequently we can mistake it for being something bad, but your body is your best friend. Your body is your ultimate warrior, and the last thing it ever wants to do is hurt you. And the other really amazing thing about our body is it has your brain, is it has positive neuroplasticity, or the ability to make new thoughts. So what happens is you can go back up into the meat suit of your brain. You can change the way you think if you have the energy and the intent to do so. It's possible. It's possible for all of us. And so I just find in that concept and that thought, I have a lot of hope. And in hope I see light, and with that I find energy. And I see it day in and day out from patient to patient that we actually can get better. And so if this helps you, I'm just so thankful. And if it doesn't help you, maybe you could pass that on to somebody that it might help them. But ultimately around here, that's what we love to do. We love to help people with their stress response. We help them find reconnected with their body. And we've got so many potential ways to help with that you only have to start the flicker. And with a flicker, people are like, I get it. And when they get it, it leads to more. And with that, they lead to more. And there's no condemnation in the method or the way that you start associating with yourself. You know, some people come in and they go, I have wrinkles in my forehead. Or actually, maybe I'll even use a more common example that people say that they frown. And when they frown, they see wrinkles. And they feel that people, when they look at them, feel like they're mad all the time. And they don't want to be mad anymore. And when they look in the mirror and they see those 11s, it makes them feel disconnected with themselves. And I always tell them, you know what? Life is hard. Those little 11s, those are easy. We can fix those easy. And so if someone fixes their 11s, which are these lines here, and they feel better about themselves, that's a beautiful thing. Now, if somebody decides to go work out and that makes them better about themselves, that's great too. There's nothing wrong about helping their 11s. There's nothing wrong about working out. The person that wants these doesn't have to feel like they have to go work out to be a better person. No, you already are a great person. It's just figuring out how to connect yourself with your body and letting go of your fear and understanding how to drive your meat suit. So there's no condemnation in any of it. And when your body feels fearful, the other thing that makes us all human. And when I say it's all human, it actually makes us all the same. What makes us individuals is what makes us unique. But when we feel fear, I tell you, every human body feels very similar. Although when we're in that meat suit that feels fear, you will feel very alone. But your feeling alone is not true, because it happens to us all. So when you feel fear, you can also get really tired, and then our brain starts ruminating towards the negative. And the longer that happens, the more fearful we become. We start to seclude ourselves and push others away. It gets uncomfortable, but you really want it to go away. But you're not alone in that. And if someone says, Sam, I've never felt that way, it's just because you've never felt the imbalance of that direction. But it's in your bodies, and it's in your body's ability, just like your heart beating, or your breathing, or you going to the bathroom. I mean, this response is a biological response that we all have the potential to feel. So anyway, we're all individuals in how we get there and why we get there, but we're all human in that we can. So if I have anything to say today, it's just don't fear. Let's learn not to fear our fear, and let's also embrace what we need to do to balance ourselves out. Because if you sit there and say, I'm gonna outthink it, I'm gonna just breathe it through, I'm not gonna balance myself out, I have control of my body. Oh my gosh, believe me, I've tried that, and I have embraced that I have to balance if I help my body feel balanced, I stay in the driver's seat. So I embrace what gives me balance to stay in the driver's seat, because I find peace. And life just is better that way. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. But Lauren, any questions?
We do have a question.
Okay.
What would you say is the most common fear that people come in with when they first are new patients and meet with you?
I think the biggest fear that people feel is that I'm going to call them crazy, or that they feel alone. And that is because I think everyone says that. And we may feel, and everyone comes in because they want energy. They want to feel better. But energy is the release of, if you reclaim energy by letting go of fear, by understanding, by love, by those types of things. So that everyone's coming in asking for the same thing, and they have the same feelings, but how we get there is just what makes us an individual a little bit. So I would say the biggest fear that people come in is that I'll call them crazy, or there's nothing wrong with them, or it's all in their head. Well, this is what I'd have to say about that too. It's never in your head, because you are the driver of the meat suit. So when you come in, and when the meat suit, I call it the human body or the robot body, when you come in and you say, I don't feel right, something's not right, you're just telling me I'm trying to drive my meat suit and it's not responding and I don't get it. Can you help me get control again? That is not something you're making up. That's something you're feeling. So it's true. There's nothing crazy about that. That's just normal. So I think that's what I would say is the biggest thing that I hear.
What about folks who kind of fear the process outside a system that they're used to?
Oh yeah.
Or fear, they haven't found anything in X, Y, and Z. She's not going to be able to find anything.
Right.
Labs, whatever it might be. What would you say to that?
So what I say is, a lot of times I'll have patients come in and their labs are stone cold normal. But fear is your body being normal. So a lot of times people come in and don't feel good because their body's working perfectly. But it makes sense when you talk to them why they feel that way. Now there's other folks that come in and there's metabolic dysfunction, there's hormone imbalance, there's hypothyroidism, there's food allergies. You correct those issues and people feel like they get in the driver's seat again too. But sometimes we feel like we're not driving our body because we have a more abstract concept, thought, or process that we're trying to work through. Sometimes we feel outside of connection of our body because our body biologically is not as efficient and it's inefficient in motion, so we feel like we're sputtering. But they both feel equally the same. You both, in both ways, feel tired. You both, in both ways, feel like you can't sleep and you can't remember and concentrate, and you're just irritable. Because if you, spiritually, are trying to drive a body that's slowed down and you don't understand why, everyone who would get into a car that's sputtering and will only go 5 miles an hour on the highway at some point in time is going to get frustrated because you're normal. So the system that we work in here, the reason that we kind of have jumped outside the system of a conventional system is because it allows us to have the autonomy to help you as an individual. And I could take time with you and hear your story. Because a lot of times in a conventional setting, I'm limited on time and I can't listen. Or I can't listen, but I want to listen, but I don't know that there's time constraints, and I just felt like I wasn't doing a good job. And so much of what I do is by hearing what it feels like for you to be driving your body. And only by just sitting here and looking in people's eyes and listening to them and explaining things can I really figure out how to help them as an individual feel how to drive their body again. And I love doing this. It is so fun. And so along the way, and I know I say this over and over again, but I like to say it in different contexts because sometimes it makes you, us all hear it a little differently. So when anyone that comes in who can't remember and concentrate, their sleep is off, they don't want to move as much, I know they're probably putting on some body fat somewhere, or I know they've got a little this or that going on. Why? Because when your body feels stress, it's always going to increase body fat and reduce muscle mass, with the exception of some body types, which are a few people. But in the majority, that's what happens. So when people reconnect, they can't wait to feel back inside their shiny car. That's the best car, and as great as it can drive. So if they need a little dent pop out, or if they need to remove a little fat in some area, that's the easiest thing that we could help you with, because that, my friends, is your body, and your body's a math problem. The hard part of life is figuring it out. The hard part of life is listening to your body. The hard part of life is figuring out your connection points. And the hard part of life is just accepting yourself for who you are, and amazing as you are, because there's only one you. And if we're all our best people, then we just learn more, we do more, and life's funner.
When do you refer out when people talk to you about panic and anxiety? Or how do you work in complement with?
Mm-hmm. So what I would do is, I feel comfortable with certain things, but if I don't feel comfortable, when I say comfortable, I'm pretty comfortable with everything, but if it's outside my expertise and I feel like I am not going to get you there as quickly as needs to happen, or I don't have enough experience in what you're asking me to help you with, I'd always refer folks out, because really, I tell folks what I love to help with is help people be well. And there's a sick system that helps you with sickness. And it's so nice when we work together. And hopefully, as you get well, you need the sick system less, because no one wants to get sick. Plus, your body wants to be well. So I think those are the times that I would refer out. But I love working with people because it takes a village to help people get better. It's not about one thing. It's about everybody.
Do you have anything fun for the summer planned, program-wise?
Okay, so program-wise in this summer, I know we're continuing with our walking program. We continue our Women with Weights program. We're excited about our secret study that we get to do with Dr. Ma and the RG53. We're excited about our boxing program and to be able to pair with go out to Colorado hopefully in July. And I think so far those are big things that we have, although there may be some other changes that we're excited about. I get to go to Iowa next month and kind of start to talk to the Des Moines area about wellness and work with a plastic surgeon there who's really amazing, and pair and learn even more great things about the human body and things that you can do to help it. So I'm just excited to learn. I'm excited to work with such an amazing staff of people that believe in helping people get better. And I'm excited to hear your stories, because every time I get to meet a new patient, every time I get to see same patients come back, I learn something about them, I learn something about myself, and hopefully I learn something to help another patient have a better day, because we all at the end just want the same thing.
We do have a question. We have been getting a lot of emails about interest.
Okay.
Of the Dr. Mouth study.
Yes.
Study. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
You should talk a little bit more about
it. So again, I'll talk about Dr. Mao's study. And so Dr. Mao he's super cool and fun. And he has found a protein called MG53. And so when you think about a cell, I'll make a little square. If I take a cell and this will be the cell roof, and I poke a hole in the cell, I made a hole, right? The MG53 is this protein that goes up and seals the cell up. So it makes our cell heal really fast. And so what they've done is they've done a lot of other studies and uses for MG53, but they're starting to use it in skin. And so what we're showing, which I've already used it, because everything we do I always try, and I'm like, woo, before I even talk to people about it, I want to make sure it works. So I'm going to meet Dr. Mao, which I got to do both, and I totally believe in it working, and I totally think he's amazing. I think his staff is super smart, and they believe in it too. So anyway, what we're doing with a secret study, and we're also doing it with a certain percentage of people with a CO2 machine, is that we're treating one half of the body one way and the other half of the body with an MG53. And we're qualifying collagen content, recovery time, and some other subjective measures. So then we can actually publish that study and help people know that there is a simple way to help your body heal when it's been acutely damaged. Because when you look at skin, we always want to help the skin heal the best it can. And so wouldn't it be great if you could achieve that with one easy cream instead of 50 topicals, pulling your PRP out, injecting it, hyperbaric oxygen, blah, 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 which all those things have a place. But what if there's this rockin' awesome other product that's a biologic, meaning it's made from you, that is easy, it's affordable, and effective? So I'm really excited about that because, again, I believe that it works. I've done half my face one way and half the other, and I totally believe in it, and I'm excited to be part of a continued journey to help bringing wellness to so many people, because we just got to spread the word that we're all well and our body is amazing, and you don't have to feel bad.
And we are still looking for participants. We're about almost halfway.
Yeah.
And it's for the secret
and the CO2.
And CO2.
Yes.
And it's $100 off your treatment plus free topicals.
Yep.
Post treatment, and we'll follow with photos and we'll have more information about their protocol
afterwards. I mean, here in the near future, like if you were to, so if you call or email in, you can just let us know, and then as we get all the details, we'll send more details out. So then you could choose if you really like to be part of the study or not. Now with CO2, I know we won't do a lot of that over the summer months unless people are really planning on being inside, because when you go out in the sun, then it can, you just have to stay out of the sun a while for CO2. So fall tends to be a little bit better time for that, but the secret we can kind of do at other times before. And also know that the secret is not limited to your face. You know, secret can do your stomach, we can do your legs, we can do cellulite of the posterior thighs, of our glutes. So you can literally apply it anywhere because our skin is just like a snake, and if you stimulate collagen, you stimulate reduction of wrinkles, you help cellulite improve, you change the texture of your skin and its appearance. And I just think it's super cool because, dear goodness, as a female, as we age, yeah, our legs change, and we haven't had a really good treatment plan for that. Now we do. Not to say you have to do it, but I just like to know there's options. And if our stomachs look a little odd, after we've had a few munchkins, you can reclaim that. It's good to know too. Yeah. So I think that completes our journey today. Thank you for keying in. If you have any questions or thoughts, don't forget to let us know, and stay tuned for next week, and we hope you have a great day.